Procurement leaders, that's quite a tough gig, isn't it? You know, HR and procurement, it's not the most natural marriage, is it, in the world? So what I thought I'd do is share with you just a slightly different look into an organisation and hopefully just look at it in a slightly unique way. I call it alchemy. And I live in Norfolk and people say to me, alchemy, is that witchcraft? And I say, no, it's taking the component ingredients in an organisation and turning it into gold, turning it into something really powerful. I've got to click my own clicker. This could be a disaster. So I'm going to share with you an organisation level model, a slice of a big organisation, and then zoom down to a very practical level in terms of some practical things that you might want to get into a discussion about. But I thought I'd just sort of just tell you a little bit about my experience. I had a look at the delegate list. I don't think there's anybody here from not-for-profit sector. Hey, 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 hello, good. So, anybody from retail sector, past or present? Okay, so, retail sector, very, very commercial, very, very fast-paced. Brilliant, brilliant ground, training ground, learning ground for organisations. Very long hours, but very, very customer-centric. When I come on to talk about social housing, we went on a journey of not even recognising customers in that organisation. And that customer-centric principle has been a really important driver. Sainsbury's, so at that time, FTSE 100, 130,000 staff, 600 million profit. Big, big organisation. Big head office in Blackfriars. In that head office building in itself, 4,500 people. Big, big organisation. My route into Sainsbury's, does anybody remember a DIY chain called Texas? Yeah. Okay, so I worked for the sheds, Texas Home Care Sheds, and through acquisition went into Sainsbury's home base, okay, and was fortunate actually in the acquisition to work on the integration of the two organisations. Was in the north, went down to London, worked in the head office, and then I discovered, anybody work for Sainsbury's home base? Good. Sainsbury's home is full of the rejects from Sainsbury's. So very quickly, in home base, decided that I wanted to go over and work in Sainsbury's, got seconded from my secondment, off secondment, went into Sainsbury's supermarkets and got this coveted job, awesome job actually, employee relations manager. And as part of my induction, they said to me, do you want to come along and hear the results for the opinion survey? There's a board presentation and we think it would be really good for you to do. Opinion survey at Sainsbury's, about a 95% response rate. Massive, massive data set. So I went along, I was very excited. Guess what happened? Nobody turned up. Not one single member of the board at that time. Now, it would be fair to say that that was in Sainsbury's recovery, but at that time, not one single executive thought that data was worth having a look at and worth paying some attention to. If I fast forward, it was amazing data, very rich data, and we also had something, if anybody remembers the European legislation coming down, late 80s, so we had something called the Working Time Directive coming down from Europe, and the Working Time Directive had to be put into organisations. Sainsbury's was a big corporation, it wasn't going to go on the wrong side of the law, it had to introduce it. Guess what the biggest issue in the survey was? Working hours. Guess how supermarkets make their margin? People work very long hours in supermarkets.